After seeing what's going on in Los Angeles with these fires, it's clear to me that everyone just wants the same thing. We want answers, and more importantly, we just want the truth of what's going on, whether you're directly affected by these fires or just watching from afar. Now, what you're currently looking at is a graphic showing the fires, where they started, and how fast they grew. We're talking over 38,000 acres in total, with the burn area being bigger than the size of Paris. 12,000 structures have been burnt down, 24 people have passed away, and as of Tuesday, 88,000 are still under evacuation orders. This week, winds are expected to reach up to 70 miles per hour, which can fan these flames and potentially make things worse than they already are. The air quality is horrible, saying the particles in the air can cause serious health problems. There's also major concerns with the contaminated drinking water, and this is just basically explaining when there's a fire like this, there's a lot of problems that follow suit. And I hate to be even more negative, but 53 people have been arrested in relation to the fires, including 3 for possible arson, which is people basically intentionally setting these fires. And to be honest with you, I think this needs to be our main priority. I mean, we have people dressing up as firefighters, looting people's home, which is one of the filthiest things I have ever seen. Also, this was super random and weird, but an investigation has been launched to find the drone operator who put a hole into Canada's Super Scooper aircraft, which was fighting the LA fires. I don't know how this happens, but this is detrimental because these things are super effective in helping the fires. And now, one of the most important questions of them all, and this is starting to become a slippery slope, is the water supply and the water availability. Because we saw a lot of clips of people saying they didn't have any water at all to fight these fires. And a lot of people are now saying there was water, it's just the supply was low. And the truth is getting twisted around. There's claims of a lot of misinformation. So we're going to try and find what's really going on. And we're going to start by listening to what Governor of California, Gavin Newsom, has to say about this.
You've also called for an independent investigation into the issues around water supply that we've seen. What are the questions that you're hoping to answer?
The same ones you're asking, same ones that people when I'm in the streets are asking, yelling about. What the hell happened? What happened to the water system? Was it, and by the way, was it just overwhelm? That you had so much that was used, we drew it down. Was it pipes? Was it electricity? It was a combination of pipes, electricities, and pumps. What was that drawdown impossible because you lost 7,000+ structures right here anyway, and every single structure we lost had a pipe that was leaking, and we would have lost that water pressure anyway. Did it contribute in any way to our inability to fight the fire, or were 99-mile-an-hour winds determinative, and there was really no firefight that could have been more meaningful? So all of us want to know those answers, and I just don't want to wait because people are asking me. I want to know those facts. I want them objectively determined, and that the chips fall where they may. This is not about finger pointing.
You say what to people who insist that these independent investigations or calls for them? Are you passing the blame on to other people?
How could it be when we're doing an independent investigation and we just want the adjudication of the facts? As I say, it's not about finger pointing. It's about answering the questions you and everybody wants answered. And I think there's a propensity to wait to answer those questions, and people want immediacy. They want response and responsiveness, and so that's the idea. To the president-elect, I don't know what he's referring to when he talks about the Delta smelt and reservoirs. The reservoirs are completely full, the state reservoirs here in Southern California. That mis and disinformation, I don't think advantages or aids any of us. Responding to Donald Trump's insults, we would spend another month. I'm very familiar with them. Every elected official that he disagrees with, very familiar with them.
We do know, though, from reporting here locally that one reservoir that serves the Palisades was not full.
And that's exactly what triggered my desire to get the investigation, to understand what was happening with that local reservoir. That was not a state system reservoir, which the president-elect was referring to as it relates to the Delta and somehow connecting the Delta smelt to this fire, which is inexcusable because it's inaccurate, also incomprehensible to anyone that understands water policy in the state.
Over the course of the next several years, Los Angeles will be host to the World Cup, and then the Super Bowl, and then the Olympics. With this rebuilding effort needing to take place, is LA going to be ready for all of those global events?
My humble position, and it's not just being naively optimistic, that only reinforces the imperative moving quickly, doing in the spirit of collaboration and cooperation. President of the United States, Donald Trump, to his credit, was helpful in getting the Olympics to the United States of America, to get it down here in LA. We thank him for that. This is an opportunity for him to shine, for this country to shine, for California and this community to shine, the opportunity with all of that. And all that opportunity and that pride and spirit that comes from not just hosting those 3 iconic games and venues, but also the opportunity, I think, to rebuild at the same time. And that's why we're already organizing a Marshall Plan. We already have a team of looking and reimagining LA 2.0, and we're making sure everyone's included, not just the folks on the coast, people here that were ravaged by this disaster.
You just said you're organizing a Marshall Plan for the rebuilding of California. What is that Marshall Plan?
For
Tell
this
us about
region,
this Marshall
we're just
Plan.
starting to lay out. I mean, we're still fighting these fires. So we're already talking to city leaders. We're already talking to civic leaders. We're already talking to business leaders and nonprofits. We're talking to labor leaders. We're starting to organize how we can put together a collection of individuals on philanthropy for recovery, how we can organize the region, how we can make sure that we are seeking federal assistance for the Olympics more broadly.
So that's what your governor of California has to say about what's going on. And this was, I believe, when I'm recording this video now, this was 2 days ago. But Elon Musk actually went to the fire command team and asked them what their thoughts were and what they thought was going on with the water. And this is really interesting because this is the source themselves who are fighting the fire. So let's listen to what they have to say.
All right. What about water availability? Was water availability? I understand that was like not an issue in Malibu. Is that correct?
Was it water?
Yeah.
So there was water. We have several reservoirs that encinos that we use a lot. Now, just an example, if we have one building burning,
Mhm.
we could flow 1,000 gallons a minute on that one building with the hose lays that we put in
Yeah.
to stop it. You can imagine 1,000 gallons per house, we couldn't do, right? So the amount
Yeah.
of water we're flowing, there really is no water system that's gonna keep that pace. So we have to bring in water tenders, which are these big tank water tanks that, 2,500, 3,000 gallon
Yeah.
trucks, and they'll come in, and that's what we have to do to compensate. So they park out there, do it. DWT did a great job. They brought in big water
Okay.
trucks for us,
All right.
and we use them as basically mobile hydrants,
All right.
right? And then we have our own agency as well that has water tenders.
Okay. My understanding is that like along the correct me if I'm wrong. In Malibu along the coast, there was no shortage of water. In the Palisades, there was a shortage of water at a certain point. Or is that not accurate?
Well, we were flowing just an amount of water that the system couldn't overbear. That we're just
Okay.
overbearing, just because of how much water these firefighters were utilizing.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right. Thanks, guys.
So if we take into consideration what they're saying here, the fire command team at least, is that the water supply was actually there. But when there's so much fire happening at once, massive fires, they're saying there was at least 7 big ones that were happening at the same time. The pressure is just so low at that point where the fire hydrants, not much is going to come out to fight all of these fires. But even if the water is there, there should be an investigation going, like Newsome said, that we need to figure out how to get that pressure. Yeah, it's probably not easy and it's probably hard to fight 7 fires at the same time. Starts with the funding. We need more firefighters, and shout out to all the firefighters. If you know anyone that's a firefighter, especially in these fires, thank them, because I don't put any ounce of blame on them. I give them all of my respect because that is hard, tireless work that has been going on for a very long time, and they deserve all the respect. But they need help. They need the water. And no, it's not their fault that there's not enough planning going on or not enough funding to keep the pressure high, or however it works. Also, the fact that the reservoir in Palisades was empty is probably one of the biggest problems, and I guess that has been offline for a while. But why is it offline for a while? These questions need to be answered because this is no joke. Many people lost their homes, many people lost their lives, and there's a lot of other problems that follow suit we went over in the beginning of the video. This is a massive problem, and it seems like we don't really have answers for anything. But don't worry, guys, because Biden just announced that if you were affected by these fires, you'll get a one-time payment of $770. And to those asking if the other videos are coming back talking about Hollywood and all that other stuff, yes, this problem, I feel like there's a lot of evil in it, so that's why we're talking about it, and it's personal to me because I know a lot of people affected by these fires and I live very close to them. We're all okay, but I'm worried about the people that are dealing with the real problems out there. And to get into the other subjects, I don't know if you guys saw what Jimmy Kimmel said on his show, but he took shots at Trump, and he basically was just talking about the whole situation of the LA fires. Take a look at that.
You know, it has been a very scary, very stressful, very strange week here in LA, where we work, where we live, where our kids go to school. We are back in our studio, which we had to evacuate on Wednesday. That's our building right there, the El Capitan. That is how close this fire was to our theater here. Many of us had to leave our homes in a hurry. Some of our coworkers lost their homes. That's Hollywood. It's been terrible. It's been a terrible. Everyone who lives in this city knows someone, most of us, multiple people, families, friends, colleagues, neighbors whose houses burned down. And the truth is, we don't even know if it's over. We had 100-mile-per-hour winds fueling this nightmare. As of tonight, the winds are back. And I think I speak for all of us when I say it has been a sickening, shocking, awful experience, but has also been, in a lot of ways, a beautiful experience because once again, we see our fellow men and women coming together to support each other. People who lost their own homes were out volunteering in parking lots, helping others who lost theirs. And tonight, I don't want to get into all the vile and irresponsible and stupid things our alleged future president and his gaggle of scumbags chose to say during our darkest and most terrifying hour. The fact that they chose to attack our firefighters, who apparently aren't white enough to be out there risking their lives on our behalf, it's disgusting, but it's not surprising. Instead, I want to focus on thanking those men and women because that's all we should be doing right now. And we should never stop.
I mean, hey, emotional times call for emotional speeches, and some words come out even though he's reading off a teleprompter. Hey, anyway, the video speaks for itself. I'm not going to comment on it, but if you guys want updates on the LA fires, I am posting a lot of verified news sources on my Instagram. I'm trying to post it on my YouTube shorts as well, but stay tuned for that. I know I didn't cover a lot of things. There's just so much in the situation, but like I said in the beginning of the video, just give us the answers, give us the truth, let's be transparent. And there's so much information on social media and mainstream media. A lot of it is colliding, and I'm doing my best to balance all of these things. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and if anyone is affected by these, I am so sorry, and I am praying for you guys, and I mean that.